Oh, hang on, oil everywhere. Oh, engine's falling over, nightmare. Welcome to the channel. In this episode I'm going to make a start on the Pepper White R50 Mini. Nothing crazy, I'm just going to pop the remains of the exhaust system and then completely dismantle the engine for parts and also to see the extent of the flood damage. Right, now the black one's all stripped, ready for scrap, we can make a start on the white one. Right, we're going to take the exhaust off because we no longer need this system, because obviously we've got a custom one to go on here, and we'll weigh that cat in because it's been crudely cut and it can't be used again. We've got the good one off the black one anyway. Right, I've done the middle mount there, we just need to get on the back, remove those rubbers and then drop the rest of the system. It's just be able to pop the clamp off at the back here, and the entire system will then just lower to the floor. He says, hang on, that's just turning around. There we go, it's better. Oh, it's always the last little bit that's tight. Come on, no, oh, damn it. Right, let's try again. Let's stop that top one from turning. Here it comes. Right, we're almost there. Right, let's lower this system down. There we go, let's slide that out the front. Right, let's drag this out. We'll have the cat off and take the O2 sensor off, because it's always good having a spare. And then we'll see if anyone wants to buy this system, because just like the black one, this is in really good condition. There we go, out it comes. Oh, that's heavy old one. Okay, Mini's all wrapped up again, and there we have the complete exhaust system taken off, as well as the cat and the O2 sensor. Okay, time to move on to the engine, strip it and see what sort of damage it's got. Right, first of all we'll have the O2 sensor off, which is a 22mm. There it goes. Excellent, we'll put that somewhere safe. Right, we'll now have the exhaust manifold off and the remains of the cap because it's been crudely cut. These are all 10mm, I've loosened some of them off already. So we'll crack on and get those undone. Right, last bolt on the manifold, it's coming away already. Ouch. Flexy's got a bit of wire sticking off it. Right, fantastic, that's the manifold off. Right, now to remove the heat shield so I can get access to the starter motor, because we'll have that out as well. Just throw it over there, it just simply lifts off and pulls out. And it full slides off, there we go. One heat shield off. Right, starter motor off. Just need to undo that on the solenoid there. Just a 10mm. Keep that nice and safe. Cable tie there to snip. Take that off. There you go, that's that free. Put that back there. Right. Right, let's crack the main one off. It's a 13. Drop the nut. There we go. Take that loom out of the way. Move that back there. Find the nut again. Where to put it? There it is. Stick that back on there. That's just the two 15s, one there and one underneath. Right, there's one bolt out, just the top one. Right, now the last one's finger loose. Should be able to get it undone. Move that bracket, keep it to one side, and just tap the starter. There she comes. Right, we'll pop that to one side as well, and keep that as a spare. Okay, while I'm still around the rear of the engine, I was just going to crack off the drive shaft carrier bolts. In fact, that one's even loose already. They're only 13mm. That way we don't have to mess around when we come to split the gearbox from the engine a little bit later. Last one. There we go, it's coming off lovely. I won't pull it out of the gearbox yet because obviously there's still gearbox oil and we don't want it to go everywhere. But there we go, that's nice and loose now, so that'll come off with the gearbox. Right, before we pull the rocker cover off, we're just going to get the loom out of the way. In fact, it's come off completely already, fantastic. There we go, we'll put that to one side. Right, we'll have this coil pack off. Series of 4 10mm. Crack those off. Okay, the last one is finger loose again. Out we come with that. There we go, we keep that nice and safe somewhere. Right, in order to get the rocker cover off, first of all you undo this. This is a 24, this is already loose. You should be able to just unscrew it or pull it out. Here it comes. And then it's just a series of 10 8mm nuts holding the rocker cover to the cylinder. Right, we'll just go around and crack those off, and we'll have that off in a minute. Make that 11, I missed one down here. Right, here comes the last one. Brilliant. Right, now we should just be able to take this rocker cover off. He says it's a bit tight. Tell you what, I just need to lever that a little bit with a screwdriver. Why have I missed one? Yes, I think I have. It's 12. There's one there. Right, correction. Now we're on the last one. So 12 in total. Take this off. And then take 2. We'll try to get the rocker cover off again. There we go. Put it to one side. Take my tools off so they don't fall inside or lose anything. Oh, it's coming, but it's a little bit tight. Just prise it up with a screwdriver. Here it comes. And there we go. Right, now the rocker cover's off, we can get a closer inspection of the top of the cylinder head, and everything appears perfectly okay with this. There's no obvious signs of any damage on the top end. It all looks fairly good to me. Again, the timing chain is intact. No play in it whatsoever. So it looks like it's purely a bottom end's gone on this, but we'll know once we take the cylinder head off. Right, before we go any further, we're going to quickly whip this gearbox off because it'll just make life a lot easier moving the engine around. This is held on by a series of 7 15mm, one there, one under there, so we'll remove that pipe. One there, come around with the camera, one there, and then 2 underneath, one there, and then when you come around this side, you've got one on the actual engine block side there. So we'll crack on, we'll get the gearbox off. Alright, let's get these bolts off and slide this gearbox off. Right, now all the bolts off, should be able to just wiggle the gearbox off. Here it comes straight away, lovely. Oh, hang on, oil everywhere. Oh, engine's falling over, nightmare. Oops, well that didn't go to plan, did it? At least the drive shaft's out, but we've got gearbox oil everywhere. Right, I'll sort that before pulling the gearbox off completely. Right, well I've plugged the gearbox, put a load of sawdust down, let's get the engine upright and try again. There we go, it's better. Right, see if we're more successful this time. It's coming. Right, we need the gearbox actually hanging off the pallet here to work properly. Right, that's better, got a bit of clearance now. Right, let's try again, it should just come off now. There we go, beautiful. Not actually an overly heavy gearbox, this one. The gearbox appears in fairly good condition. Hang on, let's put it in neutral. Yeah, it turns really nicely. Very little play in that. We've got a good gearbox here as a spare. Right, there we go. There's the clutch and the flywheel all exposed. We'll take this off anyway. We're not going to keep them as spares. We'll probably just keep them for part numbers. All right, let's get the clutch assembly off. This is a series of 6 Torx E8 all the way around. So we'll just crack these and then take that clutch off. It's nice and loose. Oh, that's tight, which it should be. Alright, just work the way around and we'll have this clutch off. Alright, just the last couple to go. All at the top here, put my hand on it just so we don't lose the clutch like we did the engine. Alright, that's the last one out. Alright, we should just be able to lift the clutch assembly off. It's a little bit tight, here it comes. Hang on, where's my screwdriver? It's behind me. Right, let's prise it off there a little bit. Here we come. Here we go. No, just there a little bit. Right, now we're free. Right, there we go, one clutch. You can see it is fairly worn, so it's not going to be reused. Same on that side there. Right, okay, we'll have the flywheel off, which is a series of 13mm nuts. We may need to lock the flywheel to prevent the crank turning, but we shall see. Let's have a go. Okay, that came undone. Oh, they are tight, which they should be, obviously, but that flywheel's not budging. Which kind of means I think we've got a bottom end of this engine's seized. Because in theory, with the amount of pressure I'm putting on there, that crank should move. So we'll have this off. But yeah, I'd say the bottom end of this engine is toast. Right, here comes the last one. And then we should just be able to stick a pry bar behind. Slowly ease this flywheel off. In fact, it's loose anyway, but you need to do that. There we go. Off it comes. One flywheel. I've had those two off already. There's just one more 10mm here. And the associated pipes here attached to the cylinder head, because we don't want to be having anything attached to that when we come to remove it. Right, it comes off nice and easily. There we go. Pop that to one side. And then it's just this one here. And I think everything is completely detached from this side of the head. Excellent, there we go. We'll just leave that floating there. Right, now I'm going to spin the engine around so we can get access to all the inlet manifold, all the other ancillaries, the alternator, the AC compressor, and obviously the fuel rail and all the injectors, before we then remove all of that lot, take off the engine mounts, and then we'll get that cylinder head off. Right, before we go any further, we'll just have this engine mount off, just to make access to everything else easier. Series of 4 16mm nuts, I've already cranked them off, so they're just loose now. Get that off nice and quickly. Great big long bolt. Alright, here comes the last one. Support the mount there in my hand so it doesn't drop. Alright, there we go, one engine mount. Right, next up is to have the auxiliary belt off. Very easy to do on these, you just need a 3/8 drive ratchet. Pop it in there. Undo the tension on a tensioner. Like that, and then a bit more than that, like that. Then you can lift up and slide that belt off. There we go. Off it comes on the alternator, and then you can just work your way around. Sometimes it's a little bit tight to get out there. There we go. Right, unrelease that slowly. Excellent, just got to tilt the engine a bit to get it off the AC compressor. There we go, one belt off. Now we can have the auxiliary belt tensioner off, which is just 3 10mm there. There we go, that comes off there. Right, now onto the AC compressor. It's held on by a couple of 13s. Undo those, and I'll just tilt the engine back, then it should just come away, he says. Right, first one out. Second one out. Hopefully I haven't missed any bolts. It looks like it's only held on with 2. Just tilt the engine and that should come away. Nope, there's another one somewhere. Ah, there it is, it's on the side. Another 13, I believe, around the side here. Hiding at the bottom of the block. Right, now it should come away. There it goes. Let's tilt it back and it should just slide off. There we go. Keep that to one side because somebody may need that. I won't, because we're probably doing aircon delete anyway on the white one. Right, pop the engine back down slowly. Brilliant. Oh, almost lost it again. Right, now time for the alternator. 3 10mm on this one, 2 there, 1 down there. And that'll enable us to get to everything that's attached behind, and also anything underneath, which is the water pump assembly. Right, that one's coming out nice and easily. Okay, the last one on the alternator. Here it comes. Fantastic. Right, now we'll have the water pump off. We're going to take this off as a complete assembly. We'll undo the pipe work there at the block, which is 2 10mm. The remaining 13's under there, and obviously we've just got to remove that clip there, take that hose off. So we'll just put a pair of mole grips on that, slide it to one side, and we can hopefully ease that off nice and gently without tipping the engine over again, Sam. Okay, that's loose, that'll slide off once the water pump's undone. Oh, hang on, it's coming off now anyway. There we go, leave that there. Right, 2 10mm up in here. Right, we should just be able to wiggle this off now. There we go, one complete water pump assembly. Right, we're now going to move on to take off the inlet manifold, fuel rail and all the injectors. Hopefully it's one assembly. Looks relatively easy. It's like 10 mils there, all the way across. We'll get those off. That one's a little bit tricky. I'll take the dipstick out. And as you can see quite clearly, there's the water damage. There's definitely a lot of water been in there at some point. Hence why the engine went bang. Right, I've undone all those 10s. There's one in here. Oh, we slipped. Come on. There we go. It's very awkward to get to. There we go. Right, that should be loose. Is that going to cause a problem? Oh, okay, here we go. It's coming off already. Lift it up and clear. See what's anything that's... Right, we've just got the sensor there to undo, and then the whole inlet manifold is off, which is a, what's that, 13 again? It's looking like it. Yes, it is. Take that off. Brilliant. Right, that should be the whole inlet manifold free and clear, which it is. There we go, complete with fuel rail and everything associated with it. Oh, all over my foot. Yes, Sam, there will be water in there, idiot. Right, as you can see, that's the engine pretty much stripped of all the ancillaries. Just a case now of removing the timing chain, taking the cylinder head off, dropping the sump, so we can actually look inside and see what sort of damage the water has caused to this engine. Right, I've also just spun the engine around, so if we come down here, you can quite clearly now see that hole in the block, which is huge. Something's hit that on the inside and it's done a lot of damage. Right, moving on to taking the cylinder head off. First of all, we need to take off the cam sensor here, and then we need to take out these blanks here so we can gain access to the guides for the timing chain, as you can see in there. Right, let's have this cam sensor off. Keep that to one side because you always need a spare. There we go, out it comes. Right, let's just take out these covers, which are a 10mm hex, so then we can gain access and we can get the top of that timing chain off. Right, there's the first one coming out. We'll keep that to one side. And then moving on to the next one. And then that reveals the 10mm that are inside, which we can slacken off. And then we should be able to just drop that timing chain off that pulley. Right, now those covers are out, we can get in there and undo those chain guides. Comes the first one. There we go, and the second one. I'm just going to remove the pulley here, which is 18mm. It's probably not the right order to do it in, but for purposes of just stripping the engine down, I'm really not that bothered. Because as I say, most of this is going to be thrown away anyway. Right, pull that out. Then hopefully we can just pull that off and undo the cylinder head and it should just lift off. In theory. Now it should be able to just carefully close it off. There we go. And that's nice and slack now, and that should just come off when we need to pull the cylinder head off. Right, let's undo all the bolts on the cylinder head and we should be able to lift it then. Right, we're now ready to lift the cylinder head. All we've got to do here is undo the 10 bolts. They're all 15mm across here, and then there's two 13s, one down there and one in there. Right, let's get cracking. Right, now all the head bolts are out, we should just be able to lift this off, clear of the timing chain. It's coming already actually. Just got to work that to one side. And that one there. And we should have enough clearance just to pull it off. Just got to work it. Oh, it's coming. Just getting caught on the chain guide there. Come on. Here we go. Whoa, look at the state of that. The cylinders are absolutely full of oil and water. Right, now the head's off, we can quite clearly see the state of those pistons. Those three are absolutely full to the top with oil, and that one's got some sort of water sludgy mess with bits in it. Look at the state of that. Head gasket though hadn't blown, and the cylinder head appears, other than being grubby, everything's intact. None of the valves are damaged, bent or anything. So it looks like the cylinder head's fine. I'd say it's just the bottom end seized on this. Okay, well I've cleaned each piston up. It was mainly water in there, but also some green oil, so I'm guessing the previous owner had stuck some oil down the spark plug wells to see if he could free up the pistons, but to no avail. Right, let's see if we can get this thing turned over at the very least on the crank. Right, here goes. Let's see if we can turn this over on the crank. Not that way. That's just undoing it. Let's see if we can go the other way. No, there's absolutely no movement in that whatsoever. That is absolutely sea solid. Oh, almost moved. Hang on, I'll go around the other side. Oh, I was trying to turn. No, that's not moving at all. Not even a millimetre. That is completely locked up. Right, we'll just spin the engine around. Let's see if we can get any of the residual oil and water out of this before we drop the sump out through the dipstick tube. Right. Oh yes, that's just water. Yes, this engine was never going to run again. There's not a drop of oil in that at all. This thing looks like it's been completely submerged. Still no oil. Is there going to be any oil? Or was this just running on water? Oh, that's heavy. No, that was literally just water. Still coming. A little bit of oil, but not a lot. Right, we'll leave that a few minutes, let that drain, and then we'll have that sump off. Okay, that's been stood for a few minutes. Let's see if we can get a bit more out from the cam end. Here we go. Right, is there any more in there? Oh yes. Again, all water. And a follower. Oh, almost lost it. Oh, yeah. Whew, that was close. Almost my third spillage of the day. Right, I think that's it. Whoa, what a mess. Right, this time around I'm prepared for any leakages. I've got a bit of carpet on the floor. We just need to crack on and get this sump off so we can see what sort of damage there is. Series of 10 mils again. I think there's 13 of them. So we'll crack those off, we'll get this sump off, and we'll have a good look inside and see how bad the damage is. Right, that's all the bolts off. We should be able to just carefully tap this sump away now. There we go. Oh, hang on, we missed one. Keep missing them. There we go. There's one on this side I missed. Probably just as well because it would have fallen off. Probably caused more spillages. Right, there we go. Let's get that out of the way. Right, now it's coming off. Oh, yes. Yes, we've got damage. And a lot more water. Going to mop that up before we go any further. Right, there you can quite clearly see the extent of the water that's inside this. I said it's had a catastrophic failure. We'll get this oil pickup out of the way so we can have a closer inspection. Right, not only have we had an engine failure, I've also had a closet failure. My trainer fell apart. Right, and now we can quite clearly see the extent of the damage. We've got two snap con rods. We've got one there, as you can quite clearly see, and then the other one's up in there. But yeah, this thing is toast. Right, just so we can see a little bit further in there, I've just undone all the bolts for the lower part of the block, which is going to be brutal, and we're going to knock this thing off so we can get a closer inspection. Here it comes. There we go. Let's put that to one side, and then we've got proper access to the crank. Oh, it absolutely stinks. Burnt oil, that is horrible. Oh. Right, and there we have it, one R50 1.6 Mini Cooper engine completely stripped and dismantled. Let's go in for a closer look at the damage. There you can quite clearly see the two con rods on those two pistons absolutely sheared, completely clean off. And also the block got a hole right through it, obviously where the con rods hit it on the inside, and completely demolished that. But let's go and have a look at the con rods, because we managed to find those inside. They're over here on the floor. There we go, look at the state of those, see how bent they are. So they must have taken a right beating. Right, I've just popped the pistons out just so you can see the condition of them. Those two are right, obviously they're showing signs of the water that was sat on top of them. Those are the offending items, because you can quite clearly see how bad those con rods have actually bent there and then sheared off. Right, there we have the remains of the white engine, all loaded up into the black Mini and all ready for scrap. Well, that's it for this episode. On the next one, hopefully I'll remove the subframe, dismantle it all ready for blasting and get it painted before it all goes back on ready for the engine. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like or even subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.